See? Not inferiority, not limitation, and not subjugation. Okay. It's good to see some new faces in here, which means new consciousness is on the scene, and that's always impressive to me. I don't expect to reach all black folks, so it's always good to see that what I suspect in America, there are black folks waking up throughout the whole of the United States of America. We're dealing with the science of the 12 signs of the zodiac under the auspices of Moorish science. The science, the body of knowledge, is what science means, that you and I, as descendants of our ancient ancestors, were to inherit as a cultural input for the spiritual well-being and the physical well-being of our future, and was interrupted and disrupted by the ordeal of being defeated, captured, and placed in a state of slavery. This knowledge since that time has been scattered into every European mystical or occult or metaphysical school, church, or center. Okay? As well as into the most famous of those esoteric schools, the Masonic order. We explain part of that Masonic lore, which has incorporated Moorish science into it, but we're not trying to make Masons of you. We're trying to assist you in the recall from whence thou hast fallen and repent. Our reference is that there are 3 missing keys in our culture. If you want to write something down, the 3 missing keys are identity, self-knowledge, and self-revelation. With those 3 keys intact, you're then prepared to go about the business of searching for your truth and coming to the realization of your identity, your divinity. The first scriptural reference is John 10:31 to 36, which is backed up by Psalm 82, verses 5 to 8. That's for your own study, and also the refutation of the Christian who wants you to believe only in Jesus as the only God and the only Son. And that is not what the scriptures teach. That's what Christianity teaches.
Say those 3 again, please.
Say what 3 again?
Identity, self-realization. What else?
Self-knowledge.
Self-knowledge.
All right, I'm sorry. Thank you.
Yeah, don't forget self-knowledge, brother. You're leaving the pot off the handle. We're trying to put the handle back on the pot. But if you forget about self-knowledge, you won't have the pot. The approach to this ancient science is placing self at the center of your study as your motif, your central theme in whatever you study. If that book, if those literatures do not tell you about you, they're not worth your consideration. In the science of astrology, we find that there are only 12 human beings on this planet. And of those 12, the rest are a duplication thereof. Everyone who was born here, let me specify that, that was born on this planet. But there is suspect that there are some down here who were not born. Who were not born on this planet. of which I have no knowledge of. But the circle of 360 degrees includes every human being down here, and the Bible teaches that. The 12 tribes of Israel, the 12 nations of Israel, are the 12 personalities. The 12 the 12 disciples of Jesus are the awakening 12 signs of the zodiac, and the 12 apostles are the arrival of that awakening. Plus, of course, the sun, who's in the middle of the circle. We look at the scriptures from 2 points of view. First of all, let me clarify what we're studying. We're studying scriptures. That does not just mean the Bible. The Bible is not the only scripture. There's the Bhagavad Gita that's worth your attention, as well as the Quran is worth your attention. The Bhagavatam, the Rig Vedas, the Gita, it just goes on. There are 12 books on the ancient Upanishads. However, that's the scholarly approach. Okay. What I'm trying to do, what Moorish science does, is focuses this knowledge and the code it was structured with that tells you about who you are, what you are, and where you are. When Noah built the ark, that's Noah's ark. He brought in all the animals. He brought in a lamb, that's Aries. He brought in a male animal, Aquarius. He brought in a goat, that's Capricorn. He brought in what's the opposite of Capricorn? Yes. I'm not talking to you. Thank you. He brought in a crab, and so on till you get 12 placements of 12 signs. 6 are animals, 4 are human, and I think 2 are symbolic. Those are all the animals, 2 by 2. The first thing we need to know, the meaning of this word. I think that's not spelled right. Testament? No, not A. T-I, isn't it?
No, A.
Is it T-A? Okay, thank you. What that word means. Not what Reverend Biscuit is saying it means. What the word means. Tisti. Minty. Tisti, body. Minty, mind. Old Testament, New Testament. Old body, old mind. New mind, new body. That's what that word says. Okay? And now go back and challenge him if you want to. And he'll probably tell you you're wrong, because he probably doesn't know what it means. We're not readers of books. The Moor is a student of knowledge. And the way to get that knowledge is you study words. You look up their root derivatives in the language in which they were presented in. We are in the last translation of languages. This is the youngest language on the planet. And we know order, divinity, and spirituality began long before anybody was white. So we're going back to ancestral line to find our truth. And our truth will do what? I didn't hear nobody say it. Don't y'all believe? Thank you. Then Noah, after bringing in all the animals 2 by 2 and his children and their wives, the male and female principle, then Noah barred the door. Okay. The first entrance of the science of astrology begins in the book of Genesis, the book of beginnings. Okay. This here? I can't change all my mannerisms for the sake of a mic, my brother. This is Sagittarius, Gemini rising. I'm going to move my hands around because that's the way I do it. Sorry. Okay? So when we come to, I need a copy of the Quran Circle 7. Okay. When we come to this circle, we're standing inside the place of knowledge. And one important factor about this knowledge is that it challenges your beliefs. The first thing it does. See? Because what we're talking about is above what people believe. We're talking about knowing. We're talking about understanding words. Presently, the code, the secret language of symbology is called the Codex Inscriptus in Masonic lore. You'll find that word in the scripture. Codex Inscriptus is right there in the, not scriptures, in the dictionary. The code written in is what Codex Inscriptus means. So that we know we're dealing with a system used to structure a body of knowledge that was to remain hidden for the privileged. That's the purpose of codes and secret writing. What we understand is the Kabbalistic writers are the ones who structured the scriptures. Now, what is being presently presented from several schools is that there was one particular man who constructed the translation of Biblos, which is the perfect fire. Holio meaning perfect or complete. Biblos meaning book. That was Shakespeare. What we do know, I know it sounds strange, what we do know is that the language of the King James Version is most assuredly the language of Shakespeare. That is not the King's English. Governor is the King's English, okay, in terms of articulation. Thou, thine, and other such prepositional curves came from the mind of William Shakespeare, who it appears may well have been Roger Bacon. Okay? We don't know that that's an alludement. Anyway, we do know that God did not reach down from heaven and hand black folks or white people the Bible as the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help them God. We know that it was constructed. What is important is when you break open the code, you discover it is a book that tells you about self. That's what's important. Not that it was tampered with, though it was tampered with, as Elijah Muhammad said. Why was it tampered with, and what tampering was done? That you will find in Isaiah chapter 18, the 2 verses of Isaiah 18, the oracle to Cush. But you need to read 2 Bibles to understand it. First read the King James Version, then read the Revised Standard Version, okay, to get an appreciation of that tampering. There are others such, but not as significant as that particular one. Inside of this circle fits the whole of man, woman, and child in nature, characteristics, personality, talents, abilities, and the cyclical movements of each one of our lives as we move through our rhythmic pattern. The planet is moving in its rhythmic pattern, the solar system in its rhythmic pattern, and all of it is evolving. What we're trying to do is outrun the slow turning wheel of evolution. The estimated date for the planetary development of cosmic consciousness is approximately 1 million years. You can hang around if you want, because you're going to come back if you want to take it that slow. What the masters of perfection offer is a way to reach it in this lifetime. Not all of it, but you can reach a level where you can then choose not to come back down here again, or to choose to come down here again. Those are some of the privileges God-like beings are given. And we know the effort here is to become God-like. G-O-D. I'm not going to go through the whole code. I have videos if you get interested in this esoteric science here. There's a bunch of tapes. I don't even know how many that are at your disposal. I just had a conversation with a Negro who is walking around with a fez on his head, claiming he's a Moor, carrying his card, but has not the knowledge of self. Anytime a Moor turns back around and tries to put this little pamphlet in the Quran, he missed the whole point. I tried to explain briefly to him that the meaning of Moorish science is on the cover of the Quran, Circle 7. This is not the Quran. This is the Quran. The Quran is spelled this way. Okay. But even that's English. And we're looking at Koran, which we can explain. But the point is, this is a symbol of a science that explains itself if you know that science. It implies two things. Four angles. You see the little openings at each point there? The four cardinal points automatically tells you this is a symbolic representation of the zodiac. There's nothing in the Quran about astrology. Absolutely nothing. There's self-knowledge in Quran, but not on this level. The only book provided for us under the auspices of Scripture is this one that deals with and is based upon the science of astrology. Essentially, the science of symbology. Okay? I am going to have to do something that I should have done earlier. You excuse me for a couple of minutes. Brother Bay, come and turn the camera off.
Three o'clock.
3 o'clock, right. Okay.
260 or 268.
260, 268. Okay. Good. Okay, very good. Now, what they're doing in this particular chapter on those pages, 260, wasn't it? I got 250. Right, yeah.
That's the layout.
Well, the natural chart begins 0 degrees Aries, unless you place your ascendant, your rising sign, on 0 degrees east. Then it becomes whatever your ascendant is. So, but the natural sign is... So what I should have done was finish the circle out.
And then you want to circle on the right.
Uh-huh.
So you have,
So this is Aries, Taurus, Gemini, Cancer. Okay, so we're all right. But the circle hasn't changed on us. Okay.
Right where you're showing the four.
Uh-huh.
That should be Libra rather than Aquarius.
Or here? Aries and Libra. Very good. Very good. Thank you. Very good. Very good. That's exactly right. Thank you. That's being sharp. Keep me honest.
I know who's opposite me.
Oh, okay. Now that's good. In fact, we're going to do that right now because that's another
And
valuable tool.
now explain just briefly the understanding of knowing that opposite. Is that opposite manifesting in you also, or are you drawn to
You're
that opposite, or what?
It's your reflection.
It's your reflection.
Yes, you share in the 30 degrees opposite self. What most are seeing is a antithesis of, that is unlike. That is not what attraction does. Attraction does not attract unlike. On the law of duality, on the plane of duality, the line of duality is this way. So if this is water, on this end it's hot. On this end it's cold, but it's still water. Okay? All right? So Libra is an air sign. So is Gemini. Okay? So they share the same element. Their opposites are that which affects air, which is fire. Okay? So air partakes of the qualities of fire, and fire partakes of the qualities of air. Okay? Fire can heat up air. Air can move fire. Okay? All right? Okay. So why the attraction is because there is a co-relationship between your opposites. In fact, if you all were to look back in your human relationships, you'll find that most of for the males, the women and young girls that you met during your time were either on your triangle or on your opposite triangle. And same thing with marriage. We often marry the very astrological sign either in our triangle or opposite, because that's how nature works. In my youth, we didn't know anything about astrology. But later on, when I look back, my wife was a Leo. First wife was a Leo. Loud mouth Leo. The second wife, Gemini. But I knew something about astrology when I met her. Okay, I'm going to hold up the sign. I want you all to call out the opposite of the sign I'm showing you. Let's see how much you know, huh? We'll get back to it. I want to do this before it slips my mind. Okay? What's the opposite of Gemini?
Gemini.
All right. Don't be startled now. They both have opposites.
Right.
Okay?
Aquarius. Leo.
Scorpio.
What'd you say?
Scorpio.
Okay, very good.
Capricorn.
Very good.
Libra.
Aries.
Very good. Now let somebody else answer there, Aries. I see you got it down. Got it down, Pat.
Capricorn is Cancer.
Right.
Virgo is
Pisces.
Very good.
Pisces.
Pisces. Yes, sir.
Virgo?
Yes, it is.
Pisces, Virgo.
Right.
Taurus.
Scorpio, Taurus.
Right. Okay. Very good. Very good. Okay. Those are supposed to stay in your head. Write with those. Instead of writing the word Taurus, write the symbol.
Well, let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Since we were talking about the opposites, I understand how air and fire
Yeah. Affect each other for the better.
for the better.
Yes.
But now, how is it that fire and water? Fire heats water, but water puts out fire.
Right. Which shows that there's no complete affinity. Okay? That shows there's not a complete affinity when they do not complement each other. Affinity or opposite attractions is a complement, is a bringing together of elements that manifest a positive output. Okay?
I guess what I was leading up to, though,
Yeah.
do you find, say for instance, do you find in the Aries, in the, the Aries personality, that aspect of Libra, that is the
Qualities of Libra in Aries.
The opposite.
Well, see, when you say qualities, in other words, you mean like an Aries might be an artist, but the Libra may not be able to draw a lick, but loves art. Okay? They would have an affinity for the characteristic traits of the opposite sign. Vice versa. An Aries would like what a Libra is about.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, right. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that Cancer and Libra or Cancer and Leo can't get along. Now, we're not one sign. We are 360 degrees.
Right.
What makes relationships work is this thing here. This is what makes it work. When there's some LOVE in here, you can get along with a rock.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Freeman, can you explain that from the analogy of static and dynamic?
No, I can't explain from the dynamics of static and but I can explain from the law of attraction and the law of repulsion.
Okay, then.
Yes,
Same thing.
yes. That the triangular signs that have each having its opposite element have a natural electromagnetic drawing to it. Positive, harmonious. There's no friction, no conflict, no bumping of the heads. Okay? That's nature in its harmony in this 360-degree picture pattern that's fixed, etched on the mind, the universal mind, of which comes out this zodiac, this spiritual zodiac, okay, that's already in harmony before we embody the physical flesh. See? We move in this circle based on our evolutionary needs. If your ascendant, let's say, is Gemini, then your past life sun sign was Gemini. Whatever your ascendant is, that's your sun sign in your previous life. But we're going to traverse this full circle. Unless you can get it done, get it all done in one time and don't need another body. Yeah. Okay. But 99.99.99.9% of the human beings down here gonna be doing this one for a while. Okay. All right. Now, did we finish putting these in the circle? Or did I stop? I stopped, didn't I? Okay. So you should be able to do this a little bit better, right? Where does Aries go? Don't speak it, write it. Where does Scorpio go? Where does Pisces go? Where does Virgo go? Capricorn. You already got them hooked up, my sister. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Libra. Cancer. Now, one way to get familiar with these signs is when you meet people, ask them, well, what's your birth sign? You know? And then listen to them while they're talking. If you know something about those 30 degrees, they'll manifest their qualities to you. You know, like I'll probably move my hands while I'm in the bed, sleep, dreaming, you know. Very Geminian. Aquarius goes where? Leo goes where? Sagittarius goes where? Gemini. All right, we're not through with this little game I suddenly invented overnight. I had this scrap of paper laying there, and I didn't want to throw it away because it's good cardboard, you know. And the spirit just went, you know, here they are. What element is that? Anybody? Is he right?
Yes.
All right. What element is that?
Water. Air.
Is he right or is she right?
Air. Gemini.
What is it? Wait, air, right? What element is that?
Fire.
All right. Is she right? She don't know. She's right. What element is that?
Fire.
Is she right?
Yes.
All right. What element is that?
Water. Water.
Is what? It looks like water.
Air.
Thank you.
Air.
Yeah, that's who?
Aquarius.
All right. Okay. What element is that?
Oh, that's Earth.
All right. Oh, Tara's speaking up there. She's going to speak with authority. Oh, that's her. What element is that? All right. What element is that?
Air.
Who is that?
Air.
Who is it? I'm talking to him. I'm trying to get a little one-on-one test here. Very good.
Capricorn.
All right. What element?
Earth.
All right. What element?
Oh, that's Earth also.
All right. Very good. See, I got some folks that do know something.
That's water.
That's Pisces and water.
Right. Okay.
Scorpio.
Okay. Is what?
Water.
Very good. Okay. We're still not finished with this little game. Look in the lower left-hand corner. What planet is that?
Mars.
All right. Speaking up. These folks know this stuff.
Pluto.
All right.
Neptune.
All right.
Mercury.
No, it's Venus.
Venus. Right. Wait a minute. I didn't look at what. I'm just agreeing with everybody. I didn't even look to see what I'm looking at.
Jupiter.
Saturn.
Very good.
Venus there. Oh.
Very good. Very good.
You said Venus for the other one.
And you were right. No, you weren't. I'm sorry. Yeah, that was Mercury. Right? Yeah.
Okay. Moon. The moon.
Okay.
Venus, okay.
Okay.
Neptune.
No, that's
Uranus.
Very good. Very good.
Sun.
Very good.
Jupiter.
Very good. That's the only one you know. Huh?
I like you.
And the sun, of course, Leo. What's that?
That's Mercury.
Did I draw it right?
Isn't it Mercury?
Right. Gemini. One way is to remember the planet is knowing the sign that the planet's governed. What two planets govern two signs each?
the moon and the sun.
Mercury.
No.
I know
Two signs
Venus is
each.
one.
What's the other one?
I'm not for sure about the other one.
Very good. Right.
What did you say?
Venus governs Libra and Taurus. Mercury governs Virgo and Gemini.
Jupiter.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, what about these planets that they found a couple of years ago?
I don't know anything about them. I know pretty well. I'm saying I know because I do some speculating here. Let me confess this. There is knowledge, fact, truth, and speculation. And I'm not afraid to speculate. My brother back there didn't like speculation. Capricorn, but I do some speculating.
You say you're right.
In fact, there's a whole level of speculative Freemasonry. But the intellectual aspect of the zodiac is given from that of the planet Mercury. Okay, and each has a lower and a higher octave. The planets that are in our solar system may reach that point of 12 planets. Okay, but they may be in a greater orbital distance than has been previously measured. As in 1930, they found Pluto hanging way out there, but it's a part of our solar system because it keeps circumscribing our sun, you know, at a measurable point in time and space. Okay, not like Hale-Bopp, which comes back every 52,000 years. That is not one of our planets. Okay, so the probability is that there are 12 in this solar system. Okay? But right now, we're experiencing the energies essentially of 9 planets. You know, we're experiencing the energy of 14 constellations, but we're not responding to them. Okay, the value of, in terms of measure, of invisible energy and invisible intelligence, as to whether the human being is responding to that intelligence and to that energy. If it's not, then for him, for her, for them, it's non-existent. You see, if it doesn't influence, affect, transform, raise up, or tear down the consciousness, the body, the mind of the human being, it is of no report. And there are such dynamic energies in our solar system, too high and too fine to influence us. Like sounds are too high for us to hear. So we can't applaud or boo in terms of music. Yes, huh?
Let me ask you a question.
Mm-hmm.
Was that Heaven's Gates responding to some force, that a real force, or was it?
Well, to be quite honest, I really don't know. What I've heard on the radio and on television, and is pretty much the same. One of them, I think the brother was Nichelle Nichols' relative. Mm-hmm. You know, and she is doing psychic this and psychic that, and a damn brother's been falling fool to death. You know, which means that she doesn't have any psychic anything except some psychic money. You know, and it's very unfortunate. Very unfortunate, you know, that it's very unfortunate that any of them could be drawn to that point where they would make a decision to take their own lives to be saved. That is not how that dude started, according to information. He was telling them when they got started some 25 years ago that they were going to be picked up by a spaceship. Then what my understanding is, the latter part of it, the decision was made that they needed to drop the body. That's when I would have been saying, "Whoa! Is anybody else up there?" You know, that doesn't correlate with anything about God, spirituality, divinity, and power. That doesn't correlate. Death does not equate to everlasting life. That is not the ticket that gets you everlasting life. Death gets you the wheel again of birth and death, of birth and death, of birth. That's the wheel you're trying to get off of. You don't get off it by doing death, you know. You do it by doing life up here. You see, energy that cannot die is what we're trying to acquire. Vibrating at a rate of speed so high that the vibrational flow of the pull of electromagnetic force in the core of the earth cannot pull us downward. See? We're trying to go this way only. Most human beings are going this way. Up and down, up and down. If you didn't go down, you couldn't sleep. When the masters get to a certain point, they don't need any sleep. They can stay up 3, 4, 5, 6 days. One master in the East sleeps 2 hours a day. He's been doing it almost 50, 60 years because he doesn't need it. He's what life is, energy. That's his nature. When they come talking like that, then listen to them. Don't be talking about, hey, take a drink of this. Yeah, right, man. Well, some things, they looked like they knew what they were talking about. They looked intelligent, except when you look real close.
No, they did not.
Well, no, I said when you look real close,
Right.
you saw something was missing. I didn't see any joyous spirit there. That had these people up. And they'd been taking chemicals, and the men had been whacked off. No, can't nobody talk me into that.
Oh, sir.
No. Yeah, they can't talk me into that one.
That was the last, they got it from another angle, and then, of course, they put that in once they conditioned them to a point.
Yeah.
They could have just ran up on them and
No, I don't think you could sell them that. Yeah.
No, they took everything out of all of the life
Yeah.
before they got to that point.
Yeah.
It's about a year and a half ago. There was a meeting at WRFG or somewhere. These people were supposed to be from outer space.
Okay.
That's those people.
Is that them?
Yes.
Oh, the ones that were in his group are the ones that were saying a year or
It's all
two.
part of the same group.
Is that right?
Yes. I pulled all the information off the internet. It's around here somewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? Those are the same people that claim they were aliens.
Oh, they were saying they were already aliens and going back home.
Right.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's fine, they let them go on back. That's all right.
They gone.
Supposedly there's a professor over at Emory there was an article in the paper about him the other day. It says he sees Martians or something.
Oh, yeah. Well, I, as I mentioned, and I'll share this with you all. Take it for whatever you think it's worth. There's a sister who had a vision of a spaceship and told me about it. That she saw this enormous ship behind Hale Bach. Then 3 days later, I had a vision of this, what looked like a craft, but the person that was in the craft was a part of it. I won't say him or her, I'm saying it. It was pinkish, greenish, bluish, and the skin did not look human. It's the only way I could describe it in my mind, it was ugly. It didn't say anything, it didn't do anything. It was just flying out there somewhere, and I let it fly the hell on, So there's something out there. There's no doubt about it. Too many people have already verified. What it is, I don't know. But as I mentioned on one of my other things, don't leave this planet without your divinity. Don't go nowhere with nobody unless you know you're God. And now, if Jesus come down here, tell him wake you all the way up, then take you all the way up. Don't leave here dense, druggish, sluggish, and scared. That ain't the way to leave. Okay? Okay, now I'm going to introduce this traditional prayer for the Holy Quran for those who are interested in joining the Moorish nation to get your sovereignty. Okay? Because you're going to be needing it along the way. But as I told you earlier, know what kind of prayers, affirmations, and thoughts you're making. Okay? From the Moorish point of view, you're looking for the God within yourself, not some God off somewhere, up somewhere. Okay? You're looking for your own godhood and the realization thereof. Allah, the Father of the universe. First of all, you cannot name the universe. And there isn't any one being that runs the universe. The universe is self-perpetuated, self-motivated, self-repairing, self-guided, and self-directed. Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my guide, my protector, and my salvation by night and by day through his holy prophet Drew Ali. Amen. That's the prayer they ask you to recite. Remember, you have the right to remain silent. And nobody can insist that you pray anything. See? I'm not disapproving of prayer. I'm saying be cautious of what you're praying. There are a lot of people that wear these names, who live down here. And they'll come and call themselves by that name, trying to collect something.
Collect something.
Yeah, your God is within you. If he comes saying he's your brother or she's your sister, then he and she is being truthful and extending a loving hand to you. Not to come with this foul the mother stuff. That means they can tell you what to do. Tell you how much you put in the plate. How much time we got here? We can go a little further here. What else did I want to do? Oh, did you all bring your little printout on the moon signs? We didn't finish dealing with those, did we? Does anybody remember where we stopped? I didn't bring those with me, so if you don't have one, you'll have to wait till I bring those others back. Does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yes, these here.
Yes, yeah. The moon positions. And we talked last Sunday about the valuableness of the moon and the inescapable influence of the daily process of the moon. The moon is always constant. Okay? And it affects the water content of the body. Why it is so influential. And we are approximately 70-something% water. And I was thinking earlier this morning, how many organs in our bodies contain both water and liquid fluids? Most of them. See? And the energy, the vibration, what appears to be a glow, okay, affects the water content of the human body, affects the menstrual cycles of women. Okay? Now, one of the most dramatic illustrations of the sun's magnetic pull is when it causes the ocean to ebb with no movement. In other words, the water isn't in waves, it isn't being pushed by the wind or swirled by air. It just simply suddenly flows back like a rug being pulled. That's the moon doing that. And the physical scientists can't deny it. Okay? There's been a heck of a battle down here between the intellectual scholarship of medicine and the astrologers after the fall of the 1929 stock market is when they went witch hunting after astrology. Committed. Well, and we're talking about a dynamic that never ceases. The moon does not go down. Let me put it that way. Okay, it is always out there. Okay, the sun does not go down. Okay, we move in our orbit. We make an upward angle at a certain point and tilt 23 degrees. That would mean that as if we were standing on the hill, leaning this way, at the bottom of the hill, and we turn around and we couldn't see our house from this position at the bottom of the hill. That's what the angle does in terms of blotting out the rays of the sun so that it appears to be no light out there. But remember, there's light on the other side of the planet. Okay? So the sun does not rise and the sun does not set. It is the planet in its movement and its angle and tilt that makes this difference between seeing night and day. Okay? if the sun, in its movement towards its gravitational center happens, and the alignment of a slight crescent happens in our solar system. In other words, if the planets, they're supposed to realign themselves. Wait a minute. If the planets get in a slight alignment, how many is that? 2, 4, 6. Like that, we're going to have a different kind of sky. We're going to have a longer day than we've had before, okay? Because the angle of the orbits would have changed for our planet. Right now, it is moving pretty much in this kind of crescent. This is a slight crescent. It's got to have a curve because it's moving in an orbit. So it can't go in a straight line like this. It'll just keep on going. You know, but the more that crescent angle expands, the longer either will be the days or the nights. I don't know which one it will be. You know, because it'll take us, put us in a different position in our orbit than we are now. Now, that is not the way the planets move. They're not moving side by side, okay? Some planets, like, there's, Venus is here, almost like real close to the sun. Pluto and Neptune are way out here. We're talking billions of miles when we talk Pluto. But it has its orbit, okay? It's very difficult to get a sense of how enormous these planets are, you know, okay? I think from California and looking at the horizon from the beach of California will give you an idea of about how enormous this planet is we're living on. And it certainly is not the largest planet in our solar system, okay? So we're talking enormous when we talk Jupiter, Saturn. These are planets bigger than ours, you know. And it's kind of inconceivable to talk about something that many millions of miles away is belonging to your environment, but it is. So it gives you a vague idea of how enormous infinity might be. Because we're just in one solar system, okay? And then the solar system that we're in is a part of another collective galactic order, and then another cosmic order, and we're only in one universe. Around its central sun. Okay? This solar system has a central sun, and this galactic system has a central sun that it orbits around. Remember that the law of vibration says what? Everything is in motion. Nothing stands still. That's from one end of this creation to the other. It's governed by the same law. See? That's one way we know we're connected with everything in this solar system and in this universe, yes.
Is it known where the aliens are from?
Not exactly. No, I don't. The only ones I have a small inkling about are the ones that may have come from Sirius. The other problem is this. It appears that the mothership has been up there thousands of years, 200 miles up. We don't know how long they've been up there, how long they've been watching this planet. The ship is pure energy. It energizes itself. It runs on energy. I felt it. You know, it's real. They are there. Farrakhan ain't jiving. He got some help. It's probably why they can't kill him. He's got some help. You know, and if a black man's going to get anything done down here, he sure enough needs some help. You know, this white boy will take you off if you try to interfere with the sale of Baby Ruth's and Milky Way candy bars. Ruthless when it comes to his money and his stuff. Okay, I guess we can halt for the moment, not overdo it. We're not in a hurry. We don't have a 12-week schedule. This is supposed to just go on and on and on. The book that I'm recommending for those who are here for the first time is a book that deals with, of course, we would only have one left. The Kybalion, the 7 cosmic laws of the universe. Every black man, woman, and child must read this book. It will tell you how your mind works and how the mind you call God works, so that you understand the laws of prosperity and the laws of good health and the laws of spiritual development. It is the knowledge from our ancient ancestor Tehuti, the one they call Thoth, that comes out of his ancient writings, that virtually is what the whole Masonic order is based on, actually. And we know he was a black man, an African man, a Moorish man who became God, or God who became a black man. Either way you want to take it, I'll accept it. I don't know anything about this book, and I'm not recommending books I have not read just because it's got a title on it. I went and bought a book on the new revelation, and this white boy is talking about John the Baptist gave me this revelation. So I bought the book, $7. Now, if John gave him that information, John the Baptist didn't know what the hell he was writing. Let me put it that way. He's supposed to have been interpreting the book of Revelation. He ain't come nowhere near it. Biggest scam and ripoff I have bought in a long time. I don't usually do that. You know, I usually stand and read me 3 or 4 pages before I give up some bucks for a book. But I'm interested in information on the book of Revelation. So I went for it, you know. They ripped me off for $7.95. That's all right. Okay, let's put everything down. We're getting ready to move towards what is considered the highest manner of prayer, the most ardent act of love, and doing exactly what the creator of the universe wants us to do: commune with, communicate with, and become God. That's done through the process of meditation and through the work of what are called spiritual techniques. Spiritual techniques and meditation are not one and the same thing. You do techniques, then you meditate. The techniques are to affect your glandular nature and your spiritual centers, called chakras in the Sanskrit language, to open them. Meditation is the process of doing absolutely nothing. The hardest thing for a human being to do. And within the course of meditation, the most advantageous thing for a human being to do: to be perfectly still and unwind, called the action of inaction in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali. We also use the approach of what's called deep breathing or Eastern breathing. And as I mentioned to somebody who came up to me Friday and said, brother, the yogi masters of the East said we shouldn't breathe through our mouths, you know. And that probably technically is correct, except we're not from the East. In these bodies, we have a Western rhythm. The people in the East have a Eastern rhythm. Okay? In other words, the palpitation of our heartbeat, the movements of our lung, is not on the same rhythmic chord of those in the East. Okay? Consequently, our breathing processes are not going to be the same. They are deeper breathers in the East. That's true. Now, you can retrain yourself to breathe only through your nose, you know. But there's nothing wrong with breathing through your mouth, because the stomach needs 1/3 air, 1/3 water, and 1/3 food. When you breathe correctly through the mouth, you pull not only air into your stomach and lungs, but you pull prana, which is energy, into your stomach and lungs. And that is the quality of re-energizing. When you breathe through your nose, you stimulate and fill your brain with prana and air. That's the process of regeneration. We do Luna Suna breathing. Left nostril Luna, cool air. Right nostril Suna, hot air. Alternate 3, 3, 3, 3, 6, 6. Back and forth till you do, if you can, get to 36, 36. If you can get there and still stay conscious. Okay. But you work at it gradually. You know, you're supposed to practice some spiritual discipline every day. And you're supposed to meditate every day. There's nothing more than 5 or 10 minutes, particularly when you get up. We use chants to energize the body. I am that I am energizes. Om energizes. When you're going to sleep and you chant Om, you chant it at a low key to calm the body down. You're trying to put the body to sleep while you, the soul self, stay awake. That's how the Moor rests instead of sleeps. He allows his body to go to sleep. She allows her body to go to sleep, but she remains conscious. And you'll automatically have a spiritual experience once you get there. It ain't the easiest thing in the world to do, but you can do it with practice. Okay, we're going to chant the Om, long and short vowel.